Roger Stone is joining us from Eastern Europe. He's been over in Hungary and Romania, where they have national parties taking control through the elections against the Soros movement, the IMF, the World Bank, the attempts to open their borders to Islamicists. Joining us from Europe, I know he's been in Hungary, Romania, you name it, speaking to the presidents and leaders there about the united front against the globalist. Roger Stone, thank you for joining us.
Alex, great to be here. I got to tell you, as I have moved across Budapest and today Bucharest, the number of people who have given me the thumbs up and yelled, "InfoWars, InfoWars, Alex Jones," is stunning. You, my friend, are a very popular man here, and you have a very, very strong following.
I know, and so do you, but that's what I'm saying. We're not bragging. I let you turn on CNN today. They are saying your name every 5 minutes, which isn't that big a deal because hardly anybody watches it, but it shows. And they're still saying, well, maybe Stone isn't a criminal after all, you know, but he did meet with Guccifer. All this made-up crap. As a journalist, of course you contacted Guccifer in a public forum. Who didn't? We tried to contact him as well. I mean, we've been beating down Assange's door. I mean, everybody else can have Assange on, but we can't. Again, it's crazy. So their whole witch hunt is imploding. How does the empire strike back? Because they are in full panic, chicken with their head cut off mode right now.
My contact with Guccifer 2.0, which is entirely public, implies collusion with the Russian state, is disproved by the timing, the content, and the context of that content.
And they know that.
It happens, and they know that. They knew it when they made the charge. In fact, Congressman Adam Schiff purposely conflated the dates in which I wrote for Breitbart that Guccifer was not a Russian agent, and the date that I began an exchange with him on Twitter direct message, which I released entirely and which is benign. But by reversing the dates, willfully reversing the dates, Schiff attempted to create the impression of wrongdoing that did not, in fact,
and now they've hit us and Trump with everything they've got. As he strengthens, as he gets more hardcore, they vanish like, you know, vampires at daybreak. In your gut, though, how does the empire strike back? I mean, I don't want us to, like the wolf says in Pulp Fiction, start celebrating here too much, but I can see the victory. I can smell it. They have gone into full hysteria mode. They've got brigades of nerds out training for combat now. I mean, they've gone into pure insane asylum because this horrible Trump, you know, wanted them to have a better job and lower taxes.
I think that they have an absolute violent revolution in mind. I have been in Hungary and Romania now meeting with the anti-Soros forces within the democratically elected governments here. And they realize that Soros is a cancer and that he seeks to subvert and overturn the democratically elected governments here through violence. He has spent a fortune planting his people within the government, not only the governments of Hungary and Romania, but let me be very clear, Alex. The U.S. embassies in Budapest and in Bucharest are both completely staffed by George Soros loyalists, people who are doing Soros's bidding.
And they've all got to be removed because they're infiltrators in our country, they're infiltrators in Europe, and they openly are behind the Arab Spring and the Islamic invasion. They have double-crossed us with the radical Muslims. This is high treason. And Hungary and others recognize it, and I salute them. Go ahead.
What's interesting here, of course, is that neither Hungary nor Romania has a substantial Muslim population. This is a real problem.
Because they got overrun about 100 times in the last 1,400 years and barely fought for their lives.
Exactly right. So what has happened here is he is struggling to subvert these democracies. He is definitely in league with the intelligence services here. The intelligence services in both governments are rogue operations, more in line with our CIA than they are with their own government.
They've been exploiting their people just like the deep state here.
Even worse, I think the surveillance, for example, I was briefed on surveillance in Romania today. Lord, half the people in this state are being spied on. Half the people in this country are under surveillance. It's chilling what Soros has in mind. He has to be stopped. These open society institutions that he has set up, which are fronts for terrorism and worse, need to be shut down. He needs to be apprehended, charged, tried, and jailed. That is the answer, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And again, folks, imagine being in Ukraine or Egypt and they overthrow the government and start blowing up the churches and murdering everybody. You know, in the case of the Arab Spring and in the case of what happened in Ukraine, I mean, this is psychotic behavior. And it's the arrogance of Soros. How has he gotten away with this for so long?
It's really extraordinary. Initially, in these in these Eastern European countries, he was viewed as a benefactor. It's extraordinary the number of people in government whose college educations he has paid for, not realizing that in return for their scholarships, they're preparing to give up their freedoms, that he plans a totalitarian state here. This guy is potentially worse than anything Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin ever even dreamed.
Well, he said that in the 80s. He said, I believe I am the Messiah, but I didn't want to tell people that until I become the Messiah or they might lock me up. That's a quote. He believes he is the Messiah.
This guy is a common criminal who, as you know, beat his girlfriend in New York City very badly, but faced no charges as a common citizen would. It's just breathtaking, the extent to which he is seeking to undermine these governments, the extent to which he is...
Why doesn't the president really take the gloves off and criminally move against Soros right now?
Well, I believe that the president of Romania put that on the table when he met with the president last week. I believe that they are beginning to understand the grave threat that Soros poses, not only in the United States, but abroad. And why the president has not yet directed Jeff Sessions to move aggressively against George Soros is a mystery to me.
And by the way, this isn't a U.S. citizen issue. He's a multinational global crime kingpin. They should use the army on him and his cohorts. I'm serious. I mean, I would cheer the helicopters going in there. And, you know, that's just what Soros wants. We'll be right back.